doing podcasting, and he was teaching book publishing. He's like, how do you become an expert in your field? Amazon now has opened up that anybody can publish a book. You don't have to have a traditional publisher. So at the time, I had a timeshare down in the Dominican Republic. So I was trying to figure out how to differentiate that. So I wrote a book about that. And I did like the best restaurants and places to go in the Dominican that I would offer as like a little bonus when you booked the house with me. And then there was another gal there. She was recently divorced, and she says, we should go down to your villa, but we should make money while we're there. Let's do something to make money. So we decided that we both knew she was a website developer, but and a digital marketer, and we decided we should do a book writing.
That was Melanie Churella Johnson, a media mogul and entrepreneur. She is the owner and founder of Elite Online Publishing, which has published over 3,000 books, making all of its authors #1 bestsellers. Melanie got her start in the industry by owning and operating 2 TV stations in Houston and Dallas that grew to be worth over $100 million. Melanie is also a WSJ USA Today 16X best-selling author and TEDx speaker. If you want to write a book and become a bestseller, keep listening. So welcome to another episode of the Online Marketing Secrets podcast with your host, Lopaz. Like and share this episode, and let's get started.
Sit back and relax and get ready for another exclusive episode of the Online Marketing Secrets podcast with Lopez.
This episode is sponsored by Goody, the ultimate AI software for all your content needs. Whether it's blogs, websites, newsletters, articles, ads, LinkedIn posts, or even images for your social media, Goody has you covered. Here's how it works. Goody takes the hassle out of content creation by generating high-quality material tailored to your needs. Best of all, you can try it absolutely free for 7 days with full access. That's right, no cost, no risk, and you can cancel anytime. Getting started is easy. Simply go to lopezlasane.com/goody or click the link in the show notes to begin your free trial today. Don't let content creation slow you down. Try Goody now and discover the easiest way to supercharge your blogs, websites, and social media today. Don't wait. Go to lopezlasane.com/goody and get your free trial today.
So, where are you from?
I'm from Houston. I live in Houston, Texas. Grew up in Michigan. And when I moved here, you know what they told me? Do you know the difference between a Yankee and a damn Yankee?
No.
They said the damn Yankee stays.
Oh, well, yeah.
So that was me. I've been here a long time. I came down to start a TV station with my former husband, Channel 51, KNWS. And we built it from scratch. And the plan was to build it, sell it in 5 years, and move back to Michigan. Well, that was in 1993, and I'm still here.
Oh, wow. Wait a minute. How did that go? As far as the TV station, because I always wondered, how do people start these channels?
Yeah, well, a traditional TV station, which was really something back in the day, right? TV was everything. There was no internet, pre-internet. So you had to get, there was only so many licenses. They don't have like unlimited licenses. And every once in a while, some licenses would come up and be available, and you'd have to apply for it and show that you had the funds and the means and the education, mostly the education too, to build the TV station. And then go through litigation and go through this whole process. And then they hone it down to like the top 3, and then they pick who they are going to award it to. But then you just get a piece of paper, Lopez. That's all you get. Like, hey, you can have a TV station. So then you've got to go build a tower. You've got to get a facility, put all the equipment in it, a transmitter, all of that stuff, hire the people, get the furniture, all of that. So it's like, basically you just got awarded it. And it's not like a franchise where they tell you everything that you need, right? They say, you know, this is how long you cook the hamburger. This is the type of hamburger cooker you need. No, you got to figure all that out. And I remember at the time, we thought we were way ahead of the curve because we bought all this new equipment. So we had much newer technology than everybody else. But, you know, in any type of electronic business, every couple of years, there's the newer, better, greater thing that comes out.
Yeah. You know, I always wondered about that because, every 10 years there's a new channel, based on sports or
Yeah. Well, you know what happened? So that there's difference between over-the-air broadcasts, which like when we were kids, you had the 3 networks and then you had the UHF stations, right? And that's what we built was what was the UHF station. And then right when I was leaving the business, we went digital. And then each FCC, UHF station or ABC affiliate, they got digital channels, anywhere from 5 to like 15 digital channels on top of their channel. So then they could sell time on those digital channels. So it was like being channel 51A, channel 51B. But then with cable, which is entirely different, cable's a different animal. You can have as many cable stations as you want. You don't have to get approved by the FCC to have a cable network.
Wow, yeah. I heard when digital came in, that changed the landscape of a lot of industries. You know? So I always thought like that's interesting how that happens. You know,
well, revenue's really gone down in TV revenue, and what I saw like by 2010, I didn't want to stay in the television business because YouTube had come out, and I thought, gosh, everybody can have their own TV station. And that's really the landscape we're in now. Everybody has their own channel, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on TikTok. You know, people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions of dollars being influencers. Mr. Beast on YouTube is one of the first billionaires to be in his 20s, all because of his YouTube channel.
Yeah. I remember back like 2010, I remember if you told someone you were doing videos online, they would think you were a scam artist.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a story. I was trying to sell my house. I had a really, really large house at the time that once around that time, my husband and I got divorced, and then he put everything into bankruptcy, including our home. We had a 25,000 square foot home. And then, so I was trying to save the house. And realtors were trying to sell it. It was a downturn, right? 2008, 2009. Everything was terrible. Real estate was taking. And I put the house on YouTube. And the realtor told me, like, how dare you put a video of your house on YouTube? We would never put a house on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I'm like, boy, you guys are really backward thinking. You know, now every house is on YouTube. And at the time, I even noticed people were putting houses on eBay. So I put the house on eBay. I even got an offer from the house on eBay. It didn't go through. Nothing happened to it, but isn't that crazy? So, you know, you got to think out of the box. I think, especially with AI coming into play now, you just got to always think out of the box. You and I were talking about how when no one knew what podcasts were, now everybody's podcasting. Yeah.
The what was not normal back then is normal today. That's always interesting, you know? And, I remember I used to have people come to my house and they used to see some of my books that I had because they were books on marketing, copywriting, video, stuff like that. They was like, oh, you're one of those types of guys. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're on the internet and you're reading those books about being a copywriter. And I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with that? I said, So now those same people from 15 years ago, now they're saying, you was on to something back then. It's funny how time, you know, how things change as people get older and times change, you know.
Well, I like it because you can tell you're an innovator, right? You want to grow, and I'm the same way. Like AI just came out, and it's got my brain all on fire about all the different things you can create and do, and speed things up. It's just changing the game.
Yeah. So, is that how you got into book publishing?
No, well, kind of. It was a journey of discovering digital marketing at the time. So back like in 2010, I guess around that era, and ran into an email by Mike Koenigs that invited you out to do this conference. It was a 3-day thing for $99. I thought, well, that's a deal. I just have to fly myself out there. I'll figure that out. And so I did. And he was teaching digital marketing, which was still new, and podcasting. And he was teaching book publishing. He's like, how do you become an expert in your field? Amazon now has opened up that anybody can publish a book. You don't have to have a traditional publisher. So at the time I had a timeshare down in the Dominican Republic. So I was trying to figure out how to differentiate that. So I wrote a book about that. And I did like the best restaurants and places to go in the Dominican that I would offer as like a little bonus when you book the house with me. And then there was another gal there. She was recently divorced. And she says, we should go down to your villa, but we should make money while we're there. Let's do something to make money. So we decided that we both knew she was a website developer, and a digital marketer. And we decided we should do a book writing retreat. So on the breaks, we did videos in the hall because that's what they taught us, posted on Facebook. She created a landing page for us. Canva just came out. If you're familiar with Canva, like everybody who does marketing knows what Canva is. Well, it's brand new. Like 2 people knew what it was that was at this conference, and they made a logo for us. And so we did this book writing retreat, and we made the authors bestsellers. Came back and thought, well, that was fun. Maybe we'll do that once a year or something. And I started getting phone calls. Hey, Melanie, can you go to coffee with me? I didn't know you published books. I didn't know you're a book publisher. Can you help me with my book? So the same thing was happening to Jen Foster, who did it with me. And we decided, I think we have a business here. So we thought it'd kind of be like a side hustle thing. But 10 years later, it's our main hustle. And we've published 3,000 books. We've made all of our authors bestsellers. And it's been a lot of fun.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like you were in the right place at the right time. The demand was there. Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
you never know. God opens the door for you. Like if you would have told me, hey, man, do you think you should go in publishing? I'd be like, no, I'm a horrible speller. I'm not a great reader. Was always in the lowest reading group when I was growing up in elementary school. I would say, you're crazy. But, God has a way of just opening the right door at the right time. And if you walk through it, things happen.
Yeah. Yeah. When, like, I didn't even know. The funny that you said you can be an independent author. I didn't even know you can do that. Like, until someone brought it to my attention years ago, because I had a friend that came over to my house at the time.
Yeah.
And I had a Word document on my computer, and I used to just write articles. So I had like maybe 10,000 words at the time. And she said, hey, you need to publish this. And I said, publish it? Like, how? She's publishing on Amazon. I'm like, huh? And she said, yeah, you can do it. And then so I just basically Google publish independent author, and Create Space came up.
Yeah.
At the time. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know you could do this. And then I found the editor, that went well, and the cover was okay, and that first book was kind of like an experiment for me. And I always tell people, and the only reason I did it is because number one, she thought it'd be a good idea, and at the time I had a YouTube channel. And the people kept asking me questions. So all I did is just took those questions and put it in the book. And people started to buy it just like that.
That's so funny. That's one of our formulas for making a book. You did 2 things. You repurpose content. We tell people if you have a bunch of articles, you can just repurpose them. These guys called The Minimalist had blog posts. They repurposed it into a book, which became a movie. We also tell people our formula is a 10 by 10 by 3. People say, well, I don't even know where to start to write a book. Where should I start? And I say, start with your most frequently asked questions. Write down your top 10 frequently asked questions. You can have more, and then have the should ask questions. Like if they knew what you knew, what would they ask you? Right? Yeah. So then have those questions, but don't just answer them. The number 3 part is put 3 stories with them, whether they're your personal stories that illustrate it or stories of an example of somebody else. Could be somebody famous, could be someone you heard of, could be your neighbor's story, right? That you put in there. And next thing you know, you've got enough content for a book.
Yeah, exactly. People love stories. I kind of always try to be in story mode. Even when I bring like guests on, I like to start from where they came from to where they are today, So I'm always, whether it's in print or video form, I try to stay in the story mode because people like that stuff.
Yeah, it's true. They remember the stories.
Yeah, you know. So, do you think that, because, you know, this is back in the day, it was this one guy, he's an older guy. He was one of those guys, he was a speaker, and he used to always say, he thinks everyone should write a book.
Yeah.
do you agree with that?
Everybody has a story. You know, I think the thing that stops people is that, oh, is my story different? Would anybody really care? And I always tell people, listen, I'm in Houston, Texas. There's churches on every corner here, but they're all teaching out of the same book, but not everybody likes the same preacher. They want to go because they connect with somebody that their story or how they tell it, they connect with and relate to. So there's going to be somebody that you're going to change their life by your story. Whether it's a book, whether it's an article, whether it's telling it in a podcast. And then there's the legacy part of it that a lot of people don't realize, that telling their story is a legacy. Like we have some people that have really accomplished a lot of things that I work with too. And I say, what do you think, like your great-great-grandchild would say, well, how did it all happen? How did this really come about? Like, how did I get where I am? Well, because like my grandfather, which is my kid's great-grandfather, right? I'm Romanian 100%. He was 12 years old, but he had been sold as an indentured servant, and he ran away, and he was a stowaway on a boat to America at 12. So all by himself, and came over to America. But if he had never done that, that's how we ended up here. And the story of our family's progression went. But, sharing those stories of where you came from. And if I wish I would have had, like, if he kept a journal, could you imagine? Right. Yeah. And my grandmother, he went back to Romania to get a wife. And they married over there. They stayed there for about a year. They came back. She was on the boat and she was pregnant. She gave birth on the boat to twin girls, and they were premature. And the captain of the boat said, this is inhumane. You should not keep these girls alive. We should throw them overboard. They're not going to survive. They're very tiny. And my grandfather said, God brought them into this world. God's going to take them out. Well, one lived to 92 and one lived to 88.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. But those are the stories, right? That you want to know. I wish I knew like the details from my grandfather and even my grandmother of exactly what happened and had that. But it's to know even how you got, if your family was unsuccessful or successful. How did we get here? What is the legacy that you're leaving behind?
Yeah, exactly. So now people always ask me, what are some pros and cons or some differences between traditional publishing versus publishing, like independent publishing? And I always tell people, I don't know, because I never tried to get a book deal. I really don't know.
Well, I love that question. Let me walk you through the whole process here. So you really have like 4 choices. You have traditional publishing, right? You have hybrid publishing. You have, I'll call it concierge publishing, which is what we do. And you have do-it-yourself publishing. So traditional publishing is where you have to get an agent to represent you. And in today's marketplace, you really have to have a big following. They're not going to take you if, I hate to use the word nobody, but if you don't have, 1 million followers on your Instagram, they're not interested because they don't do any marketing for your book. They basically publish your book and they want to know that you're going to sell books because you're you. Like whether you're Kevin Hart, or we just worked with Shaquille O'Neal's former wife, and she has a big following. She has a reality show. She was working with a traditional publisher, but they brought us on to do the marketing and make her a bestseller, an award winner. So they want to know that you're going to move books if you're with a traditional publishing house. So unless you have a personal brand and a big following, then they're not interested in you. Then the other part about traditional publishing is it takes a long time. It's anywhere from, I would say, 1.5 to 2 years. From the time you're searching for that agent, the agent is pitching you, the book gets written and edited and marketed and published. It's a long road. So I tell people, what's the cost of doing business or the cost that you're not getting your book out there. So if your book is a nonfiction book that's going to generate revenue for you, then if you're losing a whole year, how much business are you going to lose in that year? So you have to weigh those odds. If you're really famous, they're going to pay you, $250,000 to $10 million to have your book, right? That's a whole different animal. But then there is the hybrid model. The hybrid model is where it's kind of a combination. You pay them to do the book, right? But you don't pay as much as you would like a concierge publisher. But the deal is they really still kind of own the book. Like a traditional publisher really owns your content. You're limited what you can do with your book. Like one of our authors, she could only repurpose 10% of her content. She couldn't make a workbook out of it, a course out of it, nothing. So with a hybrid publisher, they're still publishing the book under their account. Like you were saying, oh, what happened to you there?
No, keep going.
Oh, all right. I thought I lost you. All of a sudden this went away. So a hybrid publisher is going to publish it under their name. So let's say it's XYZ Publishing Company. So you did CreateSpace, right? And you put your email address in there. You put your bank account information in there. Well, a hybrid publisher, let's say, ABC hybrid publisher is going to put their bank account in there. They're going to put their name and email as the publisher. All the revenue is going to come to them. And then they're going to say, we're going to do a profit split with you. We're going to take a certain percentage of the royalties. You'll get the rest, but we have to get all our money back first before you're going to see any of that. So if you paid us $10,000, we want our $10,000 back. And as you know, books don't really sell a lot. The average book sells maybe 250 copies. So basically you're never going to see any royalties and you've lost your rights more or less to the book. So we've had authors come to us and say, I can't get into my book. I don't know how many books I've sold. I want to repurpose my book. No, you can't do that. I want to relaunch my book, make a second edition. No, you can't do that. They don't have their final files. They don't have their cover files. They don't have anything. So that's the downside of that. The upside is that you can get in maybe at a lesser cost than working with a concierge publisher, but you lose a lot on the other end. So you have to weigh that back and forth. And what are they going to do for you to market your book? Some hybrid publishers offer marketing, and usually that's an upsell. So there's additional cost to that. So then the concierge publisher is, we publish the book for you. I work with, I own Elite Online Publishing. Obviously that's written there. And so we do everything as if you did it for yourself. I say it's like if you're building a house and you've hired a general contractor who has all the plumbers, electricians, tile layers, all the experts, and you've seen the homes that they've made. They're beautiful. They've got a great reputation. So that's what we do. We take all the heavy lifting out of it for you. You come to us, you pay us a one-time fee, and we do everything for you. And it's set up with your bank account, your email address, all the royalties, and 100% go to you. And you can do whatever you want with the content. You can make a course out of it. You can make articles out of it. You can make a workbook out of it, whatever you'd like to do with it. And our packages all guarantee that it'll become a #1 bestseller. That's also important. You want to know that you're working with a publisher that knows how to propel your book to bestseller status, to get it up to being #1. I always say, like, if you're playing football, you want to be able to score a touchdown on the first play and then keep your ball on the 20-yard line so you can keep scoring over and over again. Because otherwise you just get lost in Amazon's algorithms. As you might know, you're just down at the bottom of the barrel. You're like, is anyone going to find my book? I don't know. So, and Amazon pays attention when your book becomes a bestseller. It clicks in their algorithms and they're like, oh, people like this book. Let me send an email out to all the people I think that are going to like it and promote it to them. So then it gets all of that working for you. And then there's the do-it-yourself model, right? That you're going out. It's like building your home by yourself or remodeling. Either you got to do it yourself, figure out how to do it yourself and spend time learning it, or you've got to go and research the best book cover people, research the best editors. And sometimes it turns out great and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you're like, all right, like this cover, like you said, well, the cover was, it could have been a lot better. The editors were good, but the cover, no, did I get the best metadata and the categories for my book? Did I know all the tips and tricks that someone like Elite Online Publishing knows, like how to make your Amazon author page to have A+ content, how to pick the right categories. So there's all of this back end, because this is all we eat, sleep, and breathe every single day. We're up on the latest technology, on what Amazon's doing, what they're doing with AI, all of those things. So we're even doing books now where we can emulate your voice with AI, so you don't have to record it anymore. So I hope that helped, if it clarified it a little bit of the different options that you have.
Yeah. I think the first book I published, I didn't know anybody besides the traditional companies that were helping people at the time. So I didn't have anybody to ask for advice. That's the thing. So basically I'm online searching for, I need somebody to cover. And somebody told me, hey, go to 360design.com. Yeah. I'm like, it's okay. The cover, it turned out okay. It could have been better. Now I like the formatting inside, but the outside, I'm like, it's okay. But some people said they liked it. I said, okay, whatever.
And then you have to weigh like your time, the value of your time, right? Like if you have a running business that you know you're making money at, would you rather be spending time on your business and making enough money and propelling your business more forward, or taking time away from your business or your family and learning how to do a whole new skill? Like, I know I don't want to learn how to lay tile in my bathroom. I just don't want to do that. It's not my thing. I would rather be publishing books or spending time with my kids. So, you've just got to weigh that back and forth and find what works for you. Yeah,
exactly. And plus at the time I was working a full-time job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you have the time to dedicate to something like that?
Yeah. So I'm working from 3 in the afternoon to 11 at night. So I'm like at work, people are calling me and, saying, hey, I saw that your book, and you could tell if your book is selling, because you're going to start getting phone calls and you're going to start getting emails. So people are calling me saying, hey, I saw your book. Do you want to, republish it with us? At the time, I was like, I don't know about that. I don't even like the cover. I don't know. And I think it was Hay House. They called me and they said, hey, we can, if you give us I think they said $5,000, we'll republish it. We can add some more to the book, a new cover. They didn't say anything about no marketing though. I said, oh, see, there you go. Yeah. That's when I was like, I'll give me some time. I'll think about it. I'll call you back.
We relaunch books for people that feel like it didn't go anywhere, and we do a bestseller campaign. It's like, my book has been out. Even if your book's been out for like a year or 2 years or 5 years or whatever, you can always relaunch your book and give it new life. That's one of the things I really like about books. I mean, I was in the TV business. We sold airtime, right? Commercials, they come and go. Once they're gone, they're gone. But a book, it lasts forever. So you can always relaunch a book. You can always repurpose the content from the book. You can always do another promotion on the book. You can always do an email campaign, a social media campaign, ads for your book, no matter how old it is.
Yeah, so relevant. Yeah, that's. I'm glad you brought that up, because some people will say, well, why should I write a book? Well, what's the purpose? Is it because I have a business, or am I launching a newsletter, or some people say I just wanted to write it just because.
Yeah, it's all of those reasons. For a nonfiction book, for a business owner, it's to have credibility in your space, to become a thought leader in your space, right? To become that category of one where you've now said your voice that people can know, like, and trust you, to use it as a lead magnet because it's a great sales piece that you can use. You can give it out for free. You can give it in ebook format. You can give it in a physical format. You can give the MP3 as an audio format to use for lead generation. Some people want to write it to get more clients, right? We always say put a call to action in the beginning of your book so people can reach out to you because Amazon doesn't tell you who bought your book. And for some people, it's just leaving that legacy. It's for telling that story and just sharing it with others that maybe it'll help someone else. Their journey could help somebody else's journey. So, and sometimes it can be all of those things all at one time.
Yeah, exactly. So how'd you get into speaking business? What made you want to speak?
I fell into getting a TEDx talk. And then I'm now emceeing the TEDx talk coming up here in Texas coming up in a couple weeks. And I never really thought I was Miss Michigan actually way back when, before I was in TV, and started public speaking a little bit because of Miss Michigan. And then I don't know, it wasn't really on my radar. And then someone told me, you really should speak more. You've been a newscaster, you have a great story, you can educate. And so I have been starting to speak a little bit more. But I love telling stories and I really like helping people. I like to educate people. And I guess it's just if I'm excited about something, I want to help someone else be excited about it and improve their life as well.
So how do you get on the TED, that stage? Do you have to apply or?
Yeah, you do. You have to apply. They usually get abundance of speakers, right? For TED, this is for TEDx versus TED. And then the person who has the franchise, I didn't realize you can apply to be a TEDx franchise owner. I don't know if they're still doing it that way. This is probably like 7-8 years ago. And then the franchise owner of that particular city, like mine is TEDx of Sugarland, then they are the ones who go through with the committee and they have certain guidelines that they decide who's going to speak.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting, So if people wanted to reach out to you, publish a book online, where would they go to?
Yeah, you can find us at eliteonlinepublishing.com. There's an author submission button there. And we're everywhere because we believe you should be everywhere. So we have a YouTube channel. We have a couple podcasts, Elite Expert Insider, Elite Publishing Podcast. And we're on Instagram and we're on TikTok and we're pretty much everywhere. So you can reach out if you want to see more content from us and tips. Go there and then go to our website.
There you have it. Share this episode. All links will be found in the show notes. Until next time, we're out. Peace.